A group of mercenaries armed with anti-mutant neutralizer guns go to Dr. Buck. Dr. Buck creates a mutant creature that hides in a makeshift laboratory in an abandoned building. The mercenaries are instructed by their superiors to capture alive a mutated creature and use it to research reproductive technology, a multi-billion-dollar invention. Will trigger a new biotechnological revolution, and the mercenaries soon break into the doctor's hideout, but are attacked by mutant flies. An unfortunate mercenary is stabbed in the eye by a fly and a frenzied shot detonates the gas canister. A loud explosion resounded through the night sky, and almost all of the research materials were burned. But they can only take everything away and do not give up any hope. As everyone knows, a test tube containing a new variant solution. Quietly falling into the sewer, this accident changes the fate of a mouse. Although the rat's name is Lao Pu, he is only in his early 20s. It's a young man, and it has few friends, and it's hitting a wall everywhere. It's a real mouse, and his only friend, Xiao Qiang. As a result, the other party was trampled to death by a human, and Lao Pu hid in the sewer on a rainy day. 4 baby turtles were found licking the green liquid on the ground, and the 4 baby turtles were very close to him. So Lao Pu dragged the little turtle home to take care of it, but the green liquid caused a family of 5 to mutate. Lao Pu turned into an adult-sized mouse, and 4 small turtles were carefully cared for by Lao Pu. Growing up rapidly, Lao Pu is very glad that he has a family, and he has worked hard to bring up the 4 turtle sons. Although it is hard but happy, but the most headache for Lao Pu is the 4 little guys. Fascinated by the human world, Lao Pu plucked up the courage to take them out of the sewers. Came to the human world, but people rejected them extremely. In order to protect the 4 little turtles, Lao Pu guarded the TV to learn taekwondo and karate. With the turtle sons training together, Lao Pu's efforts were not in vain. 15 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and the 4 baby turtles have become skilled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But they have always been hidden in the sewers, and today Lao Pu has let them go out to buy food. But it must not be discovered by humans, and it is not easy to come out. At least enough food rations for a week. After sneaking into the convenience store, several people worked together to steal various daily necessities. Soon they had saved up enough of Lao Puli's list, but they didn't go home to find Lao Pu. Because they yearned for the outside world too much, this time the 4 of them went to Brooklyn to watch a movie. They are beautiful, and these ordinary residents. Desperate to be accepted by humans, they finally returned home. But the matter of running out to play is still exposed, and Lao Pu knows that they want to make friends with humans. But the outside world is not friendly, and in order to teach them a lesson, Lao Pu punished 4 people for not leaving the sewer for a month. The 4 turtles went back to their rooms to rest in despair. They just wanted to live the life of ordinary people. Why is it more difficult than ascending to the sky, and at the same time an evil force is acting? A bunch of humans hired by super flies to get them around grabbing things. These include industrial and power converters, as well as radioactive storage devices. These little guys don't know what the flies are up to, they're just paying for things anyway. But they were still discovered by the police and stopped the robber's truck. Unexpectedly, superflies fell from the sky and flew out of the encirclement with the truck. And the batch of equipment they stole happened to belong to the organization that killed the doctor back then. Its leader, Sister Hua, spent 15 years of hard work, but still failed to replicate the doctor's invention. She was suffering from the lack of information in her hands, but she didn't expect the superfly to come to the door. Sister Hua ordered her subordinates to install trackers on all goods, and it was time to meet this superfly. A month later, the 4 turtles were finally able to see the light of day. They both play a real-life version of Fruit Ninja on the rooftop, proposing to try it with darts. Unexpectedly, at the position of his shot, the dart was embedded in the helmet of the passerby downstairs. This girl's name is Xiao Ai, and the girl keeps screaming upstairs. Once a thief approaches the motorcycle that stole the girl, Leonardo wants to help the beautiful human lady. Recovering the motorcycle, the 4 broke into the den of the car thief and fought to the death. It didn't take long for the garage to be a mess, and the poor thief was just stealing a motorcycle. As a result, the whole den was taken by them, and the 4 turtles heard the girl coming and quickly hid in the dark. Xiao Ai wanted to know who had helped her, and finally the four turtles mustered up the courage to stand up. Surprisingly, Xiao AI did not panic, but was willing to listen to their explanation. Knowing that they were infected by the green liquid, they mutated from the common turtle. The girl was very pleased with the discovery, because her dream was to become a journalist. Xiao AI has been tracking superflies and collecting clues about the other party's crimes, and the four turtles asked him to keep them a secret from exposing them. Xiao AI agreed, and left her contact information. Sturdy Xiao AI has made everyone feel more confident, maybe just as long as they become a superhero. It won't be regarded as a monster by humans, so how can it become a hero? Donna immediately came up with the idea that we could catch the superflies. Throw him in front of the police at the door of the city hall so that the citizens can know that we are good people. They felt that the plan was perfect, so they asked Xiao AI for help. The two parties agreed to meet at a nearby middle school at 8 o'clock, and the five of them agreed on the goal. Immediately analyzing the intelligence of the superflies, they planned to start with the person in charge of the robbery. Four turtles slaughtered into the various robbers' dens and interrogated them one by one. After a series of investigations, several people find a villain named Bernie. Help the superfly snatch a homogenizer, and I'm going to trade under the bridge tonight. At that time, the superflies will come to the scene, and Lao Pu will text them to go home. Pu had prepared a party and brought in a lot of human stuff, and he wanted to make the sewers more interesting. So that the kids don't always run out, but the little sewers. Unable to trap the four turtles, they hurriedly coped with Lao Pu. Driving to the trading place, I saw a modified car coming under the bridge. Two mutant rhinos stood on either side. Finally, the superfly pushed the car door and made a shining appearance, except for Lao Pu. The four tortoises had never seen any other mutants, and for a moment they forgot that they were a bad guy. The flies also hurriedly introduced their mutant brothers, all of whom are the children of the doctor. So strictly still count as cousins, Michelangelo asked the flies. Grab so much high-tech equipment, what do you want? From their conversations, it is clear that the doctor is not a human being. That's why he created the mutant creature, and he has a deep relationship with flies like father and son. Later, someone took a fancy to the doctor's technology and led people to blow up the experimental base. Flies, as the eldest, rescued a group of younger siblings. He raised everyone in the garbage heap, and the flies found a chance. Took everyone to the city to show up, but was chased and killed by humans. This encounter is very similar to Lao Pu, but the fly is not willing to hide for the rest of his life. He is determined to kill all humans in the world and let mutant creatures rule the earth. The fly inherited the brilliant mind of the doctor, and he did not grab equipment to make weapons. Instead, he wants to use his own blood to create a new variant of liquid. Then it is launched into the atmosphere, and by that time all the animals and insects on the planet will become mutant creatures, and humanity will face extinction. Xiao AI, who was listening outside, was startled, but fortunately, the four turtles did not reflect the water. In order not to reveal the purpose, they admired the plan. Donna also offered to send the assimilator to the base himself, and the flies were very cautious. Let the rhinoceros, chameleons and little bats accompany them on the road. He led the rest of the people in front to lead the way, and Xiao AI quietly followed on a motorcycle when he saw this. The four turtles quickly found their destination, and they ran sticks through the saddle of the car. Then he poked hard at the brakes, and the car came to a sharp stop and threw the person in the front seat out. Unexpectedly, the loud noise attracts the attention of the flies, and Donna jumps into the driver's seat and makes a U-turn. And the flies immediately chased after them, and the road was rarely lively in the middle of the night. The fly slammed into him, and he tore open the carriage door, ready to snatch the assimilator. The tortoise grabbed him by the hind legs, but the car lost control and rushed down the viaduct. The baby turtle fell onto the road and was knocked unconscious by a group of mercenaries and taken away. When they woke up, they were already trapped in Sister Hua's base. She wants to make a mutagen from the blood of a turtle and then create a team of super soldiers. On the other side, the fly got the assimilator, and he was completing the last step of the machine. And Lao Pu was listening to the music and looking through the photos of the children, when Xiao AI ran over and told Lao Pu about the situation. He hurried to Sister Hua's base. This Lao Pu is worthy of being a karate master, and he is indeed very capable of fighting. 3 strikes in 5 divided by 2 will bring down a group of soldiers, and the mercenaries will not be able to see it. Immediately take out the anti-mutant neutralizer gun and fight back, albeit with high technology. But they were still no match for Lao Pu, who killed all the soldiers. Successfully rescued 4 turtles, and then Xiao Ai also drilled out of the underground pipe. They must stop the super flies, who come to the ship's graveyard and try to convince them to abandon their plans. If you slaughter human beings, you will be no different from them. Mutant creeps don't want to kill people at all, they just want to have a place to stay. But the fly didn't think so, and he insisted on starting the machine. Seeing that the launcher was already aimed at the sky, everyone pounced on the flies one after another. Destroyed that machine together, and finally with their joint efforts. The transmitter was damaged and the flies were smashed into the water. All the mutant solutions poured into the sea, and the flies turned into super mutants. Not only did it grow a whale's tail, but it also had sharp crab claws on its hands. The flies flew towards New York, and the turtles retreated. Can they really defeat the super flies? Lao Pu has other ideas? He knew the kids wanted to get out of the drain, and now was the best chance to do it. They're going to take down the super flies and prove it to the world. It's not easy to kill New York together and defeat the monsters. In a short time they suffered heavy losses, and the streets were engulfed in flames. Humanity's resistance to mutants has intensified, and the news has made mutant turtles an enemy. The turtles suddenly realized that maybe no matter how hard they tried, none of them can be accepted by humanity, and the real heroes are not to be seen by the world. Instead, they proved to themselves that instead of being discouraged, they found a problem. Since the superfly has bonded with the whale, there must be a very fragile blowmat on his hind diameter. All they had to do was inject the solution of the anti-variant neutralizer gun into the fly's blowhole. It will definitely be able to reverse the mutation of the monster, and the 4 of them make a plan. And Xiao Ai couldn't let the unscrupulous media continue to talk nonsense, so he rushed into the studio. Overcome your own phobia of the camera and tell the truth of the story to the masses. For turtles picked up Lao Pu, and they drove their cars to the building. As soon as Xiao Zi stepped on the accelerator, the car drew a perfect arc in the air. The stomata of the fly were close in front of me, and the solution had not yet been thrown out. The flies grabbed the car and threw the solution into the street. Fortunately, Lao Pu grabbed the reagent bottle when he was popular, and he himself was thrown out hundreds of meters by flies. Lao Pu struggled to get up, he had to save the children. People are approaching in times of crisis, and they learn the truth through the news. Helping Lao Pu up, a brother in a hat took the solvent. Ready to help Lao Pu, the toad dragged him to the monster, and the 2 handed the solvent to the taxi driver. Everyone united and worked together to mobilize the strength of the entire street. Successfully delivering the solvent to Little Red, the 4 brothers teleport to each other to avoid the flies. Finally, the solvent was thrown into the pores, and a bright light flashed. The fly monsters have finally been eliminated, and they have made their dream come true. Became a hero in New York, and Lao Pu was in this adventure. Falling in love with Miss Bedbug, the family of 5 becomes even more lively. On this day, Lao Pu hurriedly packed his things and sent his 4 children to school by himself.